What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video, as you can see in the topic, is all about Schalk Burger's comment that he made just the other day saying the Springboks should join the Six Nations. Now yesterday I asked a poll on Facebook, Rugby Fanatics I think the group's called, asking the people, should the Springboks leave the Rugby Championship and join the Six Nations tournament? Pretty much 90% of the people said no, they shouldn't join it. Obviously there was mixed emotions. There was over 300 votes for them to stay in championship, 60 odd or something like that voted that we should go. Now I have my own opinion on this. Schalky's obviously given his opinion and many other people have given their opinion, but before we get to the opinion, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button so you can keep up to date with all future rugby uploads. I've got a few ideas planned for this channel as we build up to the Rugby Championship, so make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Help me reach another goal. I had a goal 5,000 by the end of the year. I'm already past that. What's next? Only you guys can tell by subscribing. So hit the subscribe button and a big thank you for the support. Let's get to the topic now. Should the Springboks leave Rugby Championship and join Six Nations? Now there's been a lot of talk about this, especially this year. There's been talk of some of our Super Rugby teams leaving Super Rugby and joining the Pro 14 because of, I don't know, the success that it's shown there. There's been talk of teams not pulling out and all that stuff. There's been a lot of drama and all of it, and why it's always a topic in South Africa and around the rugby world is because a lot of our players leave our provincial teams to head over to play overseas rugby. Why? More better opportunities, I suppose. The money is damn good. Unfortunately with the economy, they earn loads more money in the UK and in France and all that stuff, so they're following that as well. Now, to bring rugby back to South Africa, is it the right move to move these teams to the Six Nations or to the UK? Look, I'm open, especially for Pro 14. I want Super Rugby to stay the way it is. I'm happy to send second teams to go into Pro 14 and to develop, because it's a good development pattern, giving the boys experience of both types of hemispheres, which is not a bad thing. Then we get to the Super Rugby, which has been going on for so long. There's been talk it's too long a tournament now. There's rumours saying that some of the provincial teams in South Africa are moaning about the climate or the jet lag of flying to New Zealand, to Australia, then to Argentina and all that stuff. But the question is, we've been doing it for how many years already? Why now is it a problem? Is it because the money's good in the UK that we now need to try that? Or is it generally a problem that our rugby is developing to a stage where we need to focus in the UK and then bring it back down? Now Schalk said if we had to join the Six Nations, it would be the best tournament in the world. It will definitely be one of the most favourite watching. But how? We can't be the best if the best team in the world is not in it. With all due respect to all the teams, the best tournament in the world needs to feature, like the All Blacks, the best tournament in the world is the Rugby World Cup, and it will always be the Rugby World Cup. Yes, it will make the Six Nations more exciting, but then what do? Do you kick out Italy and put in South Africa, or do you add it and make it 7 nations? Look, it could be one hell of a tournament. It really could be. It will be exciting. It will be very good for South Africa as well to develop the players from overseas and to get a I'm not saying it's not competitive. Rugby Championship is obviously competitive, but you not only have Australia, New Zealand, Argentina, you will have England, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and we're forgetting England, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, France, and even Italy. Now, that is a great tournament, but there's also history there, and I like history. I like keeping things going. But for me personally, I don't quite want to leave the Rugby Championship. We've got so much history between definitely between New Zealand and Australia. I was a bit disappointed when Argentina were added in to form the Rugby Championship. I felt they needed to follow into the Six Nations. I would have had them join them because majority of their stars play in Europe alone. So to me, they should have developed and grown there, and left the Tri-Nations and maybe bring in like Fiji or Samoa, and created our own Five Nations. That's what I was seeing, because it's a southern hemisphere versus the northern hemisphere. I know Argentina are technically southern, but majority of their players, as I said, play there. So for me, breaking the history, I mean the rivalry between South Africa, Australia, the Nelson Mandela Freedom Cup, then you got South Africa and New Zealand, one of the greatest rivalries in rugby. To break that up, to me, I just can't see it happening. It kind of doesn't make sense, but I know what Schalk's trying to say. It will be very good for South Africa if we can develop rugby in the Northern Hemisphere. But we play such good rugby in the Championship, Tri-Nations, that I just can't see that rivalry disappearing. It's been formed for so many years now. I've grown up watching it. So as a fan of South African rugby, I grew up from a small kid watching US, Matty Burke, Andrew Mertens, all those greats play against each other. And I mean, change is good. Change is good. And an opportunity in Six Nations will be unbelievable. But that's a European history there. That is Six Nations rugby. Southern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere rugby. Keep the clashes at the end of your tour and June internationals. Maybe increase the June internationals. Create a little tri-series like they do in the cricket. Definitely open to that. But to break up those championships, I just don't think it's a clever idea. It's an awesome thought. It's 50-50 really. But for me, I don't want to see us move from the Rugby Championship. We're playing against so much history, and I would hate for us to lose it. I mean, look at the likes of England winning, Scotland winning, that history that dates back so many years. To now interfere with that just bothers me a bit. And same goes for the Tri-Nations. What everyone's saying is, I think from other people's point of views that I've heard, is New Zealand dominates the championship to create more variety, to give others a chance to win. Yes, fine. But if you want to win and be the best in the world, you want to beat the best in the world. If we beat New Zealand in the Rugby Championship, we're on the rise. I want to play this can be so twisted, because I want to play the best, but I also want to play the best in the UK or in Europe, which is Ireland at this point of time, and then England and all those other teams, actually Wales too. So it's very hard, guys. But for me personally, to answer the question, should the Springboks move to Six Nations rugby? Not right now. No, for me. Stick to the Six Nations, stick to the Tri-Nation or Rugby Championship, stick with the history, keep developing, keep growing that. Super Rugby, I honestly have a slight question mark. Not a question mark, but I would definitely like to increase more South African teams in the Pro 14. That I really think is a good idea, but sticking to to Super Rugby as well. Don't break that up. Keep that going, but increase the opportunities in Pro 14. Develop it that way. And if it works in five years' time, maybe reconsider. But where we are at the world in the moment in rugby, it's good where it is. The Six Nations, for me personally, this past one was the best Six Nations I've ever witnessed. This Rugby Championship is building up to be one of the best because of Australia coming up, South Africa coming up, especially after a shocking year last year. Argentina always on the dark horse lead, because you just never know what they could produce, what they can do, how they can surprise us. And I think keep those exactly where it is. But again, that is my opinion. poll is up top. Should Springboks leave Rugby Championship for Six Nations? Yes or no? And we'll get a thought. On the Facebook group, majority said stick where you are in the Rugby Championship. Twitter seemed to say the same. I didn't do it on Instagram because I don't have that big of a following, but it's an interesting topic to talk about. And when I heard Schalk mention this, I had to create a video on it to discuss it. So what are the comment section for? They are for discussion. So leave your comments down below, and I'll be curious to see what everyone's point of view is. I think we're all going to agree to disagree. We're going to have our own suggestions, our own thoughts way forward. Let me know in the comment section. Create a discussion. Let's see where we can get with this. And who knows, we could have so much to talk about. I might have to do another video on this. More content. So I'll be curious to see what your thoughts are. So leave the comments in the comment section down below who you think is going to win, and we'll see what happens. But for me, Springboks stay in the Rugby Championship, Six Nations, stay as good as you are, and let's see where we are in 5 years. Pro 14, bring more South African teams in there, see how it goes. I'm definitely excited for that, but I also want Super Rugby to stay the same. I want the best of both worlds. I'm a rugby fan. I've got to be confused in the support system. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Please share this video with all your friends and family. Share it on all your social media channels, because this is a topic I want to see what everyone thinks, because it's talked about. Let me know your thoughts and share it with the world. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you real soon for another video. Super Rugby is coming out tomorrow, so stay safe and never give up. Cheers.